Being an anime enthusiast, you are given a plethora of questions to ask throughout your lifetime. From isn't that just a cartoon to how are you able to read it and look at what's going on at the same time? But a question that is actually generally asked by people to me over and over again is how do I get someone to watch anime? You know? And that's a perfectly reasonable and understandable question. This is something that you enjoy, and of course, you want to share this with someone that you care about, and they just might not find it appealing. So, I've comprised a list of 10 steps that you can use in order to possibly start someone on the correct path, if you will. But 10 steps to ensure that your boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, significant other, what have you, I don't care, will watch anime. How to get them to watch anime. Number one, research. This one is going to be an interesting one to do and to start off your journey. And honestly, it's the most important. Uh, Research requires you not to look up just different types of anime, different types of manga in order to give them a variety of things to watch. No, that'd be a bad thing. What you need to do is actually research the person. Find out what it is that they like. Find out what it is they're interested in. Anime has a plethora of genres and different archetypes that can suit anyone's palate. So the best thing that you need to do is to locate and find out exactly all the things that they truly generally enjoy. If it's comedic drama, if it's what are those rom-coms, find out which types of rom-coms that they like how many do they enjoy looking at throughout the day, and it's like which ones are the ones that they truly like. Do they like the ones that are heavy on the comedy or the ones that are actually very much dramatic? uh People who are into crime dramas, people who are into action movies, all of these things greatly matter in terms of figuring out or to easing them in the process of looking at anime. So definitely make sure that you always do your research on the person, on different animes and what have you. Find out what it is that they're interested in, and you need to find out different animes that fit that criteria. Number two, getting out of your comfort zone. Yes, step number two is for you. You need to understand and establish this main key factor. This is for the person to like anime. This has nothing to do with you. You need to understand that, hey, you might spend all of your time looking at anime with subtitles. You're going to need to bring up some dub, okay? You might be quick to have an anime playing in the background while you're working on something else. You're going to need to get out of that notion and just be willing to sit down with another person and watch an anime the long way, the slow way. Oh, God, it's horrible. But yes, these are things that you're going to have to do because, again, this is about you ensuring that they start enjoying anime, not for you who already enjoy the damn thing to like it even more. No, this is about them. So you're going to have to definitely get out of that factor of just being able or capable of just viewing multitude of episodes a day and just kind of dwindling that down to ensure that the other person's capable of um, at least getting a feel for what anime is. Number three, start off small. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is yes, if your favorite series is Naruto and you just can't wait for your girlfriend to look at all of Naruto, calm the fuck down, okay? Naruto has over 500 episodes, and there's no way in hell someone who's not even interested in looking at the goddamn anime drawing style over and over and over would be willing to look at a story that would take that damn long. No, start off small. A wonderful way of doing this is to actually use anime movies. There's plenty of them out there. They have the same runtime as a regular movie. Hell, it'd be just like looking at something from Disney. It's just another animated movie. A lot of them, actually, most of them are already dubbed, so you have no problems there. And realistically, that's the best thing to do. Then you work your way up from the movies to small OVAs and shorts, or maybe 13 episode series. But pump the brakes. Try to stay away from 24 episodes to 26 episode anime right off the bat. Again, this is something you want to build upon. You want them to get a feel and a taste for anime. Even your introduction to anime wasn't that hard hitting. You kind of had to pace yourself. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with choosing different stuff for them to get into in order for you to understand things. Look up anime that may be one-off movies that don't necessarily correlate with the series, but in their own right, they're still pretty damn good movies. Things that can do this that are easily capable are stuff like the Cowboy Bebop movies or some of the earlier Dragon Ball Z movies. You don't necessarily need to know any information about the characters, and honestly, hell, a lot of people got into Dragon Ball Z before they got into Dragon Ball, so you don't really need that much information. But it'll help you out in the long run in order to ease them into the viewing of anime. Number 4, refrain from spoilers. This seems like a no-brainer, but it isn't, because when you get into talking about anime, sometimes shit happens. But that's why I needed to put this rule in there in order to help people understand that. Refrain from spoilers. That's the last thing you're going to want to do, is actually ruin the series. Telling someone what they have to look forward to just ruins it, no matter who it is or what it is. Not even in the sense of them asking you, let them know how this ends or what happens. And if this is something that you regularly do with the person with different movies or different TV shows, try not to do it when it comes to getting them into anime. It just might make it that much more entertaining for them to actually try to piece certain stuff together if they're looking at crime dramas or little murder mysteries or whatnot. Not letting them know how everything comes from the get-go will probably really remove a lot of the flavor that they might get from actually having it become a series that they've watched from being a series that was beloved, if you catch my drift. So no matter what, do the best you can to shut your yap. No matter how much they prick at you or whatever, be quiet. Just be quiet. Just keep pointing at the screen and go, just keep watching. Just keep watching. It'll put a smile on your face. It'll irritate them. But in the long run, you're trying to get them to finish the series, finish the movie or whatever with a jaw-dropping expression. Not with oh, okay, well, that was nice. So always keep that in mind and just try not to spoil anything. Number 5, space out your watching schedules. This one is something that a lot of people never take into consideration. Think of Netflix and their anime showing. How a lot of things are putting things out in entire seasons out at one go, and then people just immediately binge watch them. Well, sometimes that doesn't actually work properly, especially when it comes to instilling or keeping that need of looking at anime inside of someone. Right now, you are at a point in time where the whole binge factor does nothing but help you, considering how much anime you have to intake every freaking season. But this person is new to the game, all right? And much like when you first got introduced to anime, a lot of people were introduced during a weekly showing basis. If it was something that came on every Friday, or when Toonami had new episodes, or when you would look at something on Sci-Fi or whatnot, all of this stuff were things that took time. Much like how people are still able to see anime episodes today on a weekly basis, you kind of want to instill that notion into this person as well. They're new to the game. Seriously, keep ringing that into your head. They're new to the game. Watching a couple of episodes a day is perfectly fine, but you want to refrain from binge watching stuff. Again, this can also make or break the change of making something a series that they've seen to being a beloved series. So easily just pump the brakes. 4 episodes, knocking out 2 hours of what usually would be like a one movie that's like 2 hours long. So 4 episodes of an anime, at that a day, or just every once in a while when you meet up, keeping back from, hey, I got to go to work tomorrow, but the next time we meet up, let's finish where we left off. Things like that will keep it fresh, keep it moving, it'll keep things going. possibly mix up exactly what animes you're seeing, much like how you did when you were younger. So let's say you knock out 2 episodes of one show and 2 episodes of another show, and then you're going to start and continue the same thing, possibly a couple of days from now. Something to keep it fresh, something to keep it interesting, and something to keep things moving. But you just definitely want to space stuff out in order to make sure that you keep them interested and focused and keep them focused on really the show's aesthetic overall. You kind of want them to have that moment of rethinking about certain episodes and it being lodged in their brains of, oh man, I just can't wait to see how it all ends, or that part was amazing and I keep replaying it over and over and over again. There's a lot of people out there who still say today that Gaara versus Rock Lee was their favorite fight within Naruto. But honestly, if you were to binge watch Naruto from start to finish, would you even really remember the Rock Lee Gaara fight? Or would it have that big of an importance to you as it did back then? I don't know. But I do believe that the fact that you weren't able to see episodes in succession was a great factor for that. So always make sure that you do that. Number 6, mix it up with stuff you've seen and stuff you haven't. What the hell are you talking about, Daniel? I've seen every anime that's ever existed. That is impossible. But I will say this. It just makes it better when experiencing this moment or sharing this with someone that you care about in terms of trying to get them into anime. There are plenty of animated movies that a lot of people have yet to see. There are plenty of movies that came out in the 70s and the 80s that essentially just never appeared on television, possibly, and like might have dubs or it's just really subtitled or whatever, or just strictly subtitled or whatever, that never came across. I know I personally haven't seen a bunch of stuff, and to this day I'm still looking up movies and watching them and either getting annoyed or enjoying it. But this adds to the experience with the person where they're not looking at everything and you're just watching them, but you actually are enjoying the moment together. It's something you haven't seen. There's something that you have seen, something that you know that they're going to be interested in, or something that pulls up under the criteria or meets the demands that this person might like it, but you've never seen it before yourself. So when you watch it, you both will be watching it together. It's almost like going to the movies together. You're really just experiencing and sharing, like you're really sharing the experience, which will then make the content that much more enjoyable because they shared it with you, someone who's really trying to get them into this content in the first place. These things matter in the long run. You got to remember, you got to give them something to anchor their feelings towards while they're looking at this stuff. It helps. It helps in the long run. Sitting down with popping some popcorn and making the lights dim while you watch a brand new anime movie that neither of you have ever seen before just might make it that much more enjoyable when you sit there and finish discussing it afterwards. Just, who liked what did you enjoy, what was new to you. You get shocked at the same times, you make your own speculations as you're looking at the movies. All of these things matter. It's just regular date night shit, really. So definitely always keep that in mind. Mix it up. Make sure you have things going that'll just be far more entertaining. It just makes things far more entertaining and it gives it a better impression in the long run to that person. Number 7. Talk about what you've seen. Now, leading into the whole mixing it up notion, talking about what you've seen is a additional to that, but isn't a step in itself. You need to get them interested. You don't need them to just look at it. You want them to like it. And talking about shows is a guaranteed way to make people like shows that much more. Bringing up stuff that that they probably never thought about, or basically hinting on certain, nice little tidbits here and there, things like that. This is what keeps shows going. This is what they call, water cooler conversations. You kind of want to have that rapport with this person. So when an episode is over with, perfect time is actually during the ending and the opening credits. The theme songs are playing, and also lets them kind of get a taste of that nice, sweet Japanese music as well, because it'll be just ringing in their head as they're talking, but in the like they'll be like, hey, you know what, I want to download that song. Eventually it will happen. But yeah, definitely keep open dialogue while stuff like that is happening. When the movie is over with, talk about the movie. When you're watching a show, talk about what you think the next episode is going to be. If you know what the next episode is going to be, ask them exactly what did they like about this episode, what were they interested in, and just go from there. These things help in the long run, as I've stated before, but you definitely want to encourage it. You want to make sure that they keep doing it. You need them to sit there and just be like, oh my God. When a bombshell happens, let them go off, and you go off as well. Talk about what you think is going to happen, even if you know what's going to happen. Talk about what deeper meanings of stuff might have been. Talk about all the speculations or different theories that you could possibly have of what could go on in the series, all to keep their minds just racing and enjoying the content at hand. So, number 8. This one is tricky. Encourage them to watch it without you. Now, yes, you might think this isn't tricky, but this is very tricky. I personally, here's an example for something that's happened to me. I'm an avid anime watcher. My friend once gave me a movie to look at, DVD of his. I actually wanted to see the movie. I had his DVD sitting on my TV stand for over a year, just never looking at his movie. And when I finally sat down and looked at it, I actually was cleaning my room and I forgot. It was just sitting there collecting dust. I was cleaning my room. I wiped it off, got it clean. Then watched the movie and then thought the movie was okay. And then gave him back his movie because he was still my friend. And I gave him back his movie. And when I gave it back, he was like, oh man, I forgot I even let you borrow this. And I felt bad. I genuinely felt bad. But again, I'm someone who actually watches anime. So just think how hard it would be for someone who's not even interested in the damn thing. This is something that you're going to want to encourage. It's not necessarily that they're going to do it, but you just want to highly encourage it. Give them some movies or some shorts that they might possibly like or be entertained with looking at, and just nudge at them like, hey, look at this on your off time. We can talk about it next time. And it's like, ooh, you really like this. I want you to see it, and then the next time I see you, we'll talk about it. Now, if they're not capable of looking at this stuff unless it's with you, that's fine. It's totally fine. It's okay. But still give them that option. So if their schedule dictates that the only free time they have to look at anime or to enjoy anything with you is this small little window, still give them this opportunity to, hey, watch this when you can. And then they might tell you, but I only watch this stuff when I'm with you. Just if you can, please watch it. And they'd be like, okay. And then if they don't, when you show up for this small little window that they have to enjoy anime, say, hey, let's watch this. It, as long as it's something that basically they were given the option to look at, or it's in the back of their minds to do it. You have a 50-50 chance of them actually looking at it without you being there, or even if they don't, you still will watch it later on. But you just want to give them that option or that freedom to actually look at anime without you, to get into looking at anime without you, to get used to looking at anime without you. That way, ultimately, they will then start looking at anime without you. That way, you'll now build up more of a rapport. They'll now go and look up different types of anime. They'll have that rush, that need, that need that needs to be fulfilled, that black hole of abyss of looking at anime in them that you want to put in them. you need them to have that. They must. So you have to instill in them the options of looking at different stuff, to getting used to looking at different stuff, enjoying it without you, and being willing to talk to you about it after they've seen it. Hell, it's scary to do it, but have them do it with things that you personally have never seen before. And then have them talk about it and see whether or not it's worth your time to even look at it. And then look at it together with them. And then they'll now be on the receiving end of enjoying watching you enjoy an anime that they themselves then like. It's just, these are things that in the long run help. In the long run. Remember, it's about winning the war, not the battles. Find out what they like. Number 9. I forgot the number. Number 9 is find out what they like about anime and build on that. So it is perfectly easy to do this one. It's just a matter of more research, really, after the fact. You watch a couple of movies, watch a couple of episodes and things like that. Take notice of things that they were really excited about. Take notice of the ones that they kind of couldn't care about. The things that you thought would really make them excited and the things that they actually did get excited for might be different types of series or different types of movies in general. They might have had a strong fixation on a particular character, and then you can think of probably like 4 or 5 animes that have a character just like that one, but the series might be about him rather than him being a background character. You see what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you keep them interested in anime. Throwing a bunch of randos at them isn't going to do the trick. You need them to build up a good rapport. So looking at things that don't pique their interest and looking at things that do pique their interest, you see the different variables that come with that. It's like if I'm seeing something that's I'm enjoying over and over and over again, then yeah, I'm gonna want more of that. I'm gonna like seeing that. When you get to the point of them catching up with the content that you're currently looking at, then hey, now you can actually both enjoy something at the same time, much like I stated in later steps. But now you've gotten to that point because they are filled up on all the different content of genres that they like and they enjoy. I always say like a perfect thing for like crime drama enthusiast is Death Note. And even though it has the supernatural aspect to it, the absolute beautiful excessive thinking that's done within the series is undeniable. And the fact that it keeps you up on your toes in terms of trying to figure out exactly what everyone has going on is fantastic. So if you have someone that's deep into the crime dramas, that's a perfect one to associate with it. Now, if they look at that and then they go, well, I just didn't like it because of said aspect, the supernatural aspect, well, again, now you got something. So you found out that they do like the crime dramas, but they don't like the supernatural aspect. They probably just wanted to see the murder stuff. That's fine. Introducing them to the Case Closed movies with just a hard little introduction from you in terms of explaining what the main character is capable of doing is probably a much needed explanation. But that also can instill on that, as those are just basically a like Case Closed is essentially anime Law and Order. So yeah, it'll work the same. So just make sure you look at things like they tell you exactly what it is they like: cute characters, funny moments, things like that, all of that, and just build on it. And number 10, the last on the list: if they don't like it, it's okay. How is that gonna help them watch anime? No, I'm not finished. There may still be hope. That's right. The entirety of the number 10 step is if they don't like it, it's okay. There may still be hope. What does that mean? That means that if after you've watched, say, a good healthy amount of anime or manga, and they're telling you that just basically looking at things like this or cartoons or whatnot is something that they're not interested in, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. First of all, you're already together. So there's obviously something else about you that they like, and it ain't got to do with anime. So you're in the clear with that one. You ain't got to worry about that. But at the same time, some people get interested in things simply because, hey, you're interested in it. So maybe if they see exactly how passionate and how much you love watching it, eventually they'll come around. There have been plenty of times where I've looked at anime and I've literally had family members walk past and ridicule and talk about talk about what I'm looking at, wasting my time, or they're just confused on exactly what they're seeing and they can't understand it. But then later on in life, because this was something I was interested in, and my family loves me, I now have a cousin who constantly cracks a joke whenever they try to say bo 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 bo, because I used to look at that when they were younger. I have family members who then talk about different shows that they've either seen or stuff that they have their kids looking at because it's done popped up on like Crunchyroll or something like that, and their kids just go at it and they just go, oh yeah, I know about that because I used to watch it with Daniel. It's okay. It again, these steps aren't going to happen instantly. It's just things that you are willing to try in order to get them to appreciate this stuff. And the 10 step is basically the most heart-wrenching one because of the fact that it's not instant gratification. They don't share the same love that you share, but that doesn't mean that they don't love you. Oh, that's sweet, that's sappy, that's sweet. But no, fuck that. What it means is that essentially you just have to play the waiting game. There's nothing more interesting than hearing someone have a gut busting laugh and you not know exactly what it is that they're laughing about. There's nothing more questionable because the first thing that's going to come out of your mouth is, what's so funny? And so if that is the case, you scream into high heavens because an interesting part happened on an anime, or you're laughing your ass off because you're seeing an overused gag that you just adore being used again. It's going to make them go, what are you looking? What are you watching? What's going on? And you just reel them in and you get them to kind of just sit with you and try to enjoy what it is you're enjoying. That also comes with the added notion of essentially explaining what it is that you're looking at, but that's okay. You're not going to want to do that. No one likes doing that, but it's okay. I've actually had someone who watched, they sat with me and watched the first episode of something and they just utterly hated it. But then as I kept watching it and the series went on, I'm like deep into it, looking at later episodes, and then they just sat down and started watching it, and they got into it just as much as I did, and then it led to them actually rewatching it from the beginning, and then going, oh, so that's why that happened, and this was what it's like. Okay, so this is why they did this later on. I was like, oh, I was like, huh, that's crazy, that's weird, but crazy. The perfect example is actually dealing with my father when I was growing up, when I was younger. Um, my dad just did not care for cartoons, but Dragon Ball Z was the shit. And he actually would tape episodes on his VHS cassette, on his VHS tape player, um, and rewatch episodes. I didn't even do that, but he did that. He did that all the time. And, sometimes he would call from work because he's like, he's going to be late. And then he'll say, record the next episode so I can watch it when I get home. Yes, this is before DVR. Also, couldn't afford DVR even when it came out anyway. So that's besides the point on that. But eventually my dad grew accustomed to looking at Dragon Ball Z and understanding my love and appreciation for anime later on. So it all worked out in the long run. But it is, again, just something that you just got to hold out hope for, because these steps might not even be to someone that you're dating. This might be to some family members who you just want to enjoy looking at anime with. There's nothing more special than sitting around with a big old family and just looking at a show when everybody's just wigging out. My family used to do that with the TV show Heroes. So, back when it was good. But yeah, so I understand. And it's, again, I have to keep reiterating, it's okay. Because I know it's going to be that, man, like I really wish they just loved anime. That way they could just get into Demon Slayer immediately. Like I want them to love this immediately. And it's like, well, pump your brakes there, Punky Brewster. It's okay for them to not like this stuff. It's okay. Don't get it twisted. It's totally fine and normal. But the beauty of repetition is that if you keep doing it over and over and over again, they might just catch on, they just might catch on. So always keep that in mind and make sure that that's something that you just keep going with you. And it's like the 10th step is just it's the most heart-wrenching one, I should say. So yeah, that's it. Though that is my list of 10 steps to ensure that you can get someone into anime. Definitely try out this stuff on someone that you care about. If they do not like anime as much as you, if someone actually looks at anime from time to time, but you want them to kind of take in some more, these steps are perfect for that as well. Just something to keep the gravy train going in terms of spreading that anime love out there, baby. But yeah, these are things that you most definitely should try and stick to, and just see the results. Let me know what the results are. It was like, hell, I don't expect no one to do this like friggin' immediately, but it was like, yeah, I tried this out in one day and it just did not work. And I was like, well, what did you guys watch? Yeah, you know. Some former alchemist. I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I picked a winner. They'd be like, wait, which one, Brotherhood or the original? I figured they could do both. I figured they could do with both. I'm the man. I'm the man. I actually had someone try to watch both the original Fullmetal Alchemist and then Brotherhood in tandem. This is the craziest thing ever. Like that, it just makes absolutely no sense. Boy, crazy stuff. But yeah, try out these steps. Let me know how they go. Let me know any other questions you might have that you're just too afraid to ask anyone else because they just not that much knowledge. They don't have the superiority that the Flame carries with himself. Mr. Flame, I'm afraid you know far too much than I do. Oh, really? Did I just end that horribly? You made such a nice you made such a nice episode, didn't you? It was a good episode up until that point. You ruined it and you shamed the family. I just feel bad now. So with that, folks, this has been Fun with Flame. I have been your host, Danieltheflame, and as always, good people, I hope you had fun. Hey, before you go, I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more content, which is sure to come. If you want me to discuss a topic, by all means, please leave a comment below and I'll definitely make sure that I'll get to it. You can check me out on any platform that basically hosts podcasts. Just type in Fun with Flame and I'm sure you'll find something. Don't worry about that. But as always, I just sincerely want to say thanks for tuning in. This has been another episode of Fun with Flame. I've been your host, Daniel the Flame, and as always, good people, I hope you had some fun.